Hi guys, hold on for a second. Before we proceed to the video, I have something very important to tell you. Professor Jon V. Kofas has published his new book in collaboration with Little French Media, and the title of the book is Neoliberalism, Inequality, and Authoritarianism. This book details how neoliberalism impacts the geopolitical economy in the 21st century. You can buy it from Amazon, and the link is in the description. Thank you. Now let's proceed to the video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to an overview session on the challenges to American democracy in the 21st century. Anyone who follows American society, politics, from politics to higher education, all institutions to religious institutions included, by the way, know that there is a sense of malaise, a sense of pessimism about democracy in America in decline, democracy in crisis. Invariably, much of the focus at least in the last 8 years, has been between the Republican Party going to the far right, institutionalized by Donald Trump, who is also now running for president on the GOP ticket, on the Republican ticket, versus the Democrats who present themselves as the saviors of democracy. Nothing could be further from the truth. Both political parties have been responsible for the demise of democracy in America, because both political parties follow very similar policies on defense, foreign policy, fiscal policy, monetary policy, labor policy, investment policy, trade policy. They're both very similar. Just look at their voting record in Congress. So the idea that this is somehow a struggle between Democrats and Republicans because there's such a vast gap ideologically and policy wise is nonsense. They're very similar, very, very similar. And one of the reasons for many people deciding to go to the far right is because they have been disillusioned historically with the Democratic liberal center, which also moved to the right, by the way, in policies, domestic and foreign affairs alike. The video that I discuss, which I invite all of you to, in the video that I discuss and deconstruct some of the structural causes of the demise of democracy in America, include historical factors. They include everything from ideology to politics to the role of Wall Street and big money in not just in politics, with the hundreds of millions pouring from corporations and billionaires into the pockets of both political parties, by the way, of individuals of both political parties. It's not just that. It's the entire institutional structure that's in crisis. From higher education, where the boards of trustees, the boards that are the governing bodies of universities, including Harvard, Columbia, Penn State, the University of Pennsylvania, all of those people, the people who are on the boards, are very much immersed in big capital. They're people with deep pockets because they're raising money for endowments in universities. So they influence the policy of universities. and therefore they have a say in whether a university has the right to pursue academic freedom and free speech, by the way, which are constitutional rights, uh, to uh, all sectors, including religion, as I said earlier, religious institutions themselves. Many religious institutions are run by individuals who preach modesty, and they preach charity for the poor. But those individuals ride around in jet planes, and they live in multi-million-dollar mansions and have huge bank accounts. So the hypocrisy of the institutional structure runs from banks which do not pay their workers a livable wage, because the minimum wage is not a livable wage. By the way, you cannot live in California on $15 an hour. You just cannot. It's poverty. Those are poverty wages. However, they themselves receive billions in bailouts, as they did in 2008 during the Great Recession, and corporate subsidies. The same thing with high tech companies, especially the semiconductor companies. The same thing with pharmaceutical companies. All of them very profitable, but they receive taxpayer money. But these people are against social welfare. Now, without, as the great John Maynard Keynes, the British economist was the brains behind the social welfare system, the New Deal policies, and the safety net that Roosevelt back in the 30s put together, argued if you don't have a thriving working class, you're not going to have a thriving middle class. And if you don't have those, you don't have a democracy. You have authoritarianism. So at the core of the decline of American democracy, although people, the louder they protest that this is a democracy, the lower the bar is set on what constitutes democracy, by the way. Keep that in mind. Look at the policies, follow the actions. The rhetoric is vacuous, and I'm afraid to say it is filled with populism, whether it comes from liberal Democrats or from Republicans, although Republicans tend to be much more vicious against the lower classes, especially the working class and the trade unions. In the video, I analyze some of the policies that lead to these conditions. I invite all of you to take a look at the video and to join this channel. This is a channel that's managed by Asad Alim. It's an educational channel. That's its purpose, by the way. So I ask you to join. And I also invite you to write comments. We answer them, ask questions, and suggestions about future sessions. Thank you very much. Thank you.